Shalom, Habari. It's me with a vlog. Excuse the way I look because I'm in the process of cleaning out a lot of stuff, the garage and everything. But I wanted to kind of talk about a topic when you're dealing with people that don't want to see you go. Some people that don't want to see you go. And the best thing I would suggest is to be quiet, because the more you try to explain the reasoning for you to leave, you sound crazier and crazier to certain people. And it's crazy in itself to even think about it, or to even let it sit and settle, because you're thinking that you're trying to provide all of this information to your loved ones or to someone that doesn't have an understanding of a different environment and what you feel is best for you, and what your hopes are, what your purpose is, what your plans are, what your preparations are, even running down some of the connections that you may have. They always will still think that it's absurd and crazy, and you'll hear like this backlash. And I'm not saying all people, but I'm saying a lot of people that just don't have the understanding of the condition that they're in initially anyway. And they don't understand how you can be at a point in your life to where you have tried and scraped your knees, and you've gotten up and you've tried and tried again, and whatever dreams and whatever purposes you feel that you've had in this environment and how they haven't worked for you, and you just having a mindset to just say, you know what, maybe this is not for me, I'm just going to try it somewhere else, or I'm going to do something different. That sounds crazy to other people because they have never considered. And my husband and I always talk about how it's a trip that people do not consider a different environment for themselves. They will just put up and shut up. And they won't question, they won't research as much knowledge and information that you give a person. And it's not all people, but some people, probably the majority of people, they won't research themselves. They won't follow through. They won't even try to meet you at the level of understanding, because they're not there. And so it's best to not even talk to them about what you have going on, what your plans are, or why you feel that it's going to be a better environment, because they can't see it. And it's just a trip realizing that when somebody is stuck, they're stuck. When someone hasn't considered their condition, they really haven't considered their condition. When someone hasn't questioned the issue, they really haven't questioned the issue. When someone hasn't researched the information, they really haven't researched the information. And so it's pointless to tell somebody all of this information that you have researched, that you have questioned, that you have pointed out, because they won't get it, because they haven't been there. And I get that now. I get that. And it's just best to keep quiet. It's best to keep quiet because you're just dumping all of this information on them. And basically what that's doing is giving like this information overload, or it makes them fear even more, or it makes them look at you like you're really out of your mind. And the more that they could, like, they'll agree with you on certain things, but then they'll always come back to this mindset like, I'm gonna be hopeful, but you'll see, it's not gonna be all that you think it is. It ain't, and you still hear that one last, let me tell her she's crazy and she doesn't know she's crazy talk or response. And it's just sad because it just reminds me of movies, and I have to only relate to movies because, and I've known people to tell me very mysterious spiritual things that have happened to them before, and I've heard how they sound, and it sounds crazy. It sounds off. It sounds like, wow, this person really doesn't know. That's so sad. Like, I never thought this person was going to end up like this. But in movies, when you see people that, like in a movie, it'll show you like, oh, this person is really seeing this, or they're hearing this, or, they know something that these other people don't know. And, they're acting out a certain way that's strange to this person's family. And the person's family ends up putting them in this crazy home because this person keeps trying to warn these people and tell these people that this is going to happen, and this is going on, and they're seeing this or they're experiencing this, and the family or whatever, they don't see that. And then eventually they get sick and tired of hearing it. It's like, okay, let's go have this person checked out. Let's check them out. Let's have this person checked out. Is because they haven't had that experience. And when someone hasn't had an experience and you're trying to download your information on them and they haven't had that experience, you're always going to look very crazy to them. You're going to look off. You're going to look like something's happened to you mentally, to where they don't even want to be around you no more because this is all you like to talk about. Or you always lead, the conversation towards this one thing that has awakened them or whatever, and they don't want to be infected, or they just don't have the time. But to the person that is on the other side, to the person that hasn't researched, to the person that hasn't asked the questions, to the person that is not fed up, you just haven't asked. So it's not fair for you to consider a person off, imbalanced, different, changed. And it's not fair to do that because you haven't yourself done your research about what this thing is that they're talking about. You haven't considered it like they have. So I would say, in a nutshell, there is no proper channel of communication when there is no proper research or information or knowledge or wisdom in the things that are being discussed. You can't communicate. So that's why you need to be quiet. It's best to be quiet. And that's just the message that I have, just through my experience that I just had, that the Most High is telling me, like, just be quiet, because they won't understand, and even by me just saying that, they just won't understand, because some people don't have the level of faith you have, or they don't show that level of faith. They're not a doer. They're just a speaker. And then they want to speak just to hear themselves hear a sound for no reason, but they act like they are, deep, and they do this and that, and they understand stuff and whatever's going on, but they're not doing anything. They're just going along. They're going with the flow of everything. And when you're the type of person that is not willing to go with the flow, and you don't want to travel the wide road, and you want to travel a more narrow road, a more cautious road, you're on a different pathway. You're not even going in the same direction as those people. So it's just a hit and miss in your communication. You are not going to be able to even come to, I wouldn't even say an agreement, but you wouldn't be able to have a conversation that feels easy on both ends, because you, as a person trying to give the information, at the end of the conversation, you're going to feel like, to this person, nothing happened. I wasn't trying to influence them to change their mind. I was just trying to get them to understand why it's best for me. and to get them to understand that I have already did my work and my due diligence on why my mind has changed about something. But it's not settled like that. It's not settled like that at all. And to the person that is on the other end, they're just left with, how they're feeling about the situation or the conversation that's had. And it was just static. And it's just a waste of time. At that point, it's just a waste of time. And so I have put a post on Facebook probably like a month ago by now. And I said that, what did I say? I said, I can show you better than I can tell you to a whole nother level. And I meant that, because a lot of people don't listen. They have to see it. And I remember in the scriptures, it says that a wicked generation is the one that has to see something. But the people that are blessed are the ones that don't see, and that just have it in their heart to believe what they're believing and to do it. And I get that so much in regards to what we're doing, because I never been to Africa, ever. I never been to Africa. I never thought to move to Africa. All I saw was the propaganda about Africa. I believed the propaganda about Africa. I never decided to research Africa. I had no idea. I never thought I would be moving to another country, let alone Africa. And I'm like, I know people are like, where does she get this idea from? But when I started to research, and I started to question, and I started to compare, and I started to get an understanding, and to connect with people, and to ask them, and to connect with people and ask them, and thank the Most High, be able to talk to locals and ask them, and just research and dig. Then I was in the know. I was more in the know than I was not in the know. And then I had to ask myself, how come I never considered? Why would I never consider? How? Why did I think this was this way when it wasn't? Why now? And if you would have told me a few years ago, probably not even a few years ago, I would say at least a good 10 years ago, that somebody in my family was going to be moving to Africa, I would have been like, ooh, good luck. Like, that ain't for me. But I remember coming across people that I worked with. Oh, I went to Africa and this and that. And it was so funny because the only pictures they had shown me was the rural areas of Africa. Oh, people, this and that. And, they try to make it seem like, oh, we went over there on a mission. Like, it was always this helping. I always have to help Africa. We went over there to help Africa. And it's like, Africa don't really need help like that. Like, why are you, knowing what I know now, I wish I could bump into them people and say, how come you didn't show me this other side of Africa? How come you telling me why you went over to Africa and what your mission was? Like, why wouldn't you, almost like you was in such a bad condition and you was just, okay, yeah, there's rural areas all over this world though. Why would you highlight a rural area and not highlight the other areas that aren't rural in Africa? And there's a lot of them. Why would you do that? Like, I just feel like I'm going to show you better than I can tell you. And I'm going to live my life on purpose. And I'm going to live a good life on purpose. I am going to live a better life on purpose. I am going to find out some things that you will never ever find out about you, because you decide to not consider on purpose. But that's my purpose. That's what I want to do with my life. So excuse me for infringing on your mind that doesn't consider. Because now I get it that you didn't consider. So now I'm going to start keeping my mouth shut. And then I'm going to start showing you better than I can tell you. And then that will be for you to consider or not. That's just what I'm going to do. So, yeah, for those of you that have a big plan that the Most High has told you to do, or that you research stuff, I don't care if it's history. I don't care if it's science. I don't care if it's the stars. I don't care what it is. Just know that people who haven't done their own research in these particular areas, and you're trying to tell them stuff about what you found out, they haven't considered it. And therefore, you might look different to them. You might look like you're losing your mind. You might look like you're having some crazy spiritual awakening. You might look like that you have got into a bad batch Kool-Aid or something, and you need to be admitted somewhere. You might look like that to people. So, I mean, me in particular, I really don't care, because I don't hurt my feelings, to be honest. But this is my purpose, and I have a passion for my purpose. And if you don't have a purpose, then you're going to be one of these people that really don't consider anything. You're just going to really go with the flow, and your purpose is to just go with the flow. Your passion is to just go with the flow. Your passion is to just let everybody else do it, to let everybody else just, well, whatever, I'll wait until someone shows me. Until then, I'm just going to be over here, but I don't want to live a life like that. I don't want to live a life like that. I don't believe life should be lived the way that I have been living my life for this past 40 plus years. I want to live on purpose. I want to bring something to me. I want to bring happiness to me. I want to bring quality of life to me. I want to bring purpose to me. I want to bring spirituality to me. I want to bring establishing new relationships to me. I want to bring being able to bless someone to me. I want to bring better financial structure to my family to me. I want to bring a better tomorrow to me on purpose. And if you don't do certain things in life on purpose, they will never, ever manifest. You will be there, and life and time will pass you by. And I'm not cool with that. I want to do something that I can be remembered by. I do, honestly. But if you haven't considered that in your life and what that looks like after you're living, hey, you just haven't considered it. But please don't look at me like I'm losing my mind and that I'm having some strange something happening at the same time. Don't look at me like that. Understand that you are the one that haven't considered it, not me. Shalom.